Hello and welcome to another live stream with me, Rauchenwald, and with that to another episode of Daily Market Mastery. Before we jump into the markets, let's as always get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the charting software, the broker, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And the one thing I recommend, if you haven't done it, is to check out the Elliott Wave Principle, which you can read online for free when you use the link that's in the description down below. With that said, we can jump right into it. Today is going to be a relatively short stream because it's my wife and mine. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say it properly, but 5th anniversary, and we have tickets to a concert of Hans Zimmer, the composer of music or soundtrack, like movie soundtracks, like for example Gladiator, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Anyway, it's also a tricky day. Today is also going to be election in the US, so one thing I want to check, I'm still firing up Motive Wave. We see we have a break even starting to the day. As so often, our GameStop $30 calls are appreciating, that's I think the right word, relatively nicely. We may or may not roll them already, so depending on how they are, how much we can realize of the maximum of around $125 weekly premium, and what's the premium going to be for next week, so to already roll them. One thing I want to look at today, so I still need a few things or open up a few things. Trading, there we go, stock predictions. It's like I just, like I mentioned on the Twitch stream today, so every Tuesday morning I'm streaming on Twitch and gaming a little bit and so on, yeah. And I mentioned there, like, I adjusted my schedule to have more time for video production and video streaming and whatnot, yeah. But there's always something that comes up, yeah. So there's always that I might want to do. There's always something that comes up. Like today, for example, the neobank that we use for our Hong Kong business announced that they will discontinue their virtual and physical Visa cards. And I don't need a bank account for a business if I don't have a card for it that I can pay, for example, the online hosting with, or some subscriptions and stuff like that. So now today I had to find another bank, and then it's a lot of paperwork with the application process and so on. So yeah, but overall I should have more time for publishing in the very near future. And anyway, today we'll, as I said, have a very short episode. I'll try to keep things simple. One thing I wanted to look at today is DJT, because obviously the US election will affect that stock drastically. Already a bunch of people got burned. I personally believe and hope that Kamala Harris will win the election. If you don't like that or you have a different opinion, go touch grass. Don't need you here, yeah. Visually, oh yeah, that's I mean, not so. The auto labeling does something weird here, but from the looks of it, we obviously, so let's try to see. And basically, so because if Donald Trump were to lose, then obviously one would expect that his stock will tumble. Okay, that's not the case. And if he were to win, one would expect that his stock will, in quotes, that stupid worthless stock will go up, because then obviously his illegal schemes and whatnot can continue, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, don't want to cover too much politics, but just the basics here. It's a little bit hard to see what happened here since the IPO of the company. I think what we might be looking at, oh, here we went lower or not. Here we have a low of 1198, and here we have a low of 1175. Yeah? It's visually really tricky. Like on one hand, we can see that we potentially have something that looks like, if we move that away, that looks like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive wave up, but then we shouldn't be going lower here. On the other hand, that could be either a 1, 2, 3, 4, no, could not we go higher here. So it could only be A, B, C maybe, yeah, which means this would be a corrective move, but then it goes lower than where we were here, so that doesn't check out, unless all of this is a big corrective move. So if all of this were a big corrective move, we reach the minimum target for that here, yeah. Now, if we look closer, 3-day chart, so daily chart, then we can see that here we potentially have not expansion, but extension. I know that's quick and dirty, but again, today we don't have that much time. So that potentially would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if we double check the wave 5 target, if that is the case or were the case, undo this, put that, yeah, let's say here for now, and then do this, and we can see that we're within the parameters, which means right now we would actually expect a retracement. We already reached the 38.2 retracement level, so let's get rid of those two and zoom in further. So again, that's quick and dirty. Mistakes are possible. So markets are open. We can check GameStop 66. Markets open, yeah, should be. And $30. Oh my God, we definitely want to roll those. So if we, oh no, that's SMCI. I was excited for a second, too soon, yeah. So weeklies, and then next week would be the 15th, and there we would get, yeah, like if we roll them now, so if we sell 5, strategy builder, which basically would mean we sell 5 of those, and then we buy our 5 back this week, and then we would do that 5 times as said, and then we would get $100. So now we're going to wait. We're going to wait to see if we can realize maybe later today, although I will not be able to because I'm not at home. Hi, Akashi. Or tomorrow, basically realize more of the potential $125 in profit here. So yeah, we're still waiting here for the chart to update, but visually in the stupid Trump media and technology, blah, 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 yeah, it looks like we had a 5-wave impulse up and like we're now getting an A, B, C corrective pattern, which however would also mean that today we first go up, then we go down. And shockingly enough, it would mean that there might long-term be more upwards potential. Yeah, so it might be, the reason why I'm checking is because if I would have a clear prediction, one could do something crazy and say, okay, for November 8, you can see how crazy the premiums are. So for example, if I would know or expect if I would know or expect that we don't fall below 35, I could sell the 35 puts, and we can see that there is $800 premium. Yeah, I mean that would be just one scenario. Is the premium higher the longer we go? Yeah, so which is kind of weird. Yeah, 17 days would be $35 would be basically $1,000 in premium. So, but then it would have to stay below 35. Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm not sure if it will update. That's a little bit of a pity here right now. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I probably will not stay up the whole night to watch the election, but I'm definitely gonna make sure to check where it stands. I'm sure Donald Trump will, like the last time, as soon as, so you have like the live votes being counted, and then there are certain states apparently where, for example, mail-in ballots are only counted afterwards. And from what I know, many of the mail-in ballots, for whatever reason, tend to be votes for Democrats. Yeah, so it might look in some states like the Republicans, and with that, in that case, Donald Trump is leading. And then later, when they start counting the mail-in ballots, then suddenly the Democrats get a lot of votes, which is something he complained about during the last election. And he filed over 60 lawsuits that all got declined or denied for lack of evidence. But I'm sure he will again just claim that he's winning. And however, on the other hand, considering they overturned Roe versus Wade, and with that pretty much should also get plenty of Republican women to vote against Trump, I consider it possible that we get quite a surprising results with quite a huge turnout or result for Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. Yeah, but anyway, so okay, this chart doesn't want to load, so let's switch somewhere else and then switch back and daily. Okay, that doesn't work like this. Okay, yeah, then let's circle through things real quick, and then we'll see if we still have time. Yeah, Barnes & Noble Educational unchanged from yesterday, so please check out yesterday's stream if you want to know more information. Specifically, you can also check out. Yeah, so my long-term prediction here would be between 1419 and 1977. Stop loss could be at 831 if you want to jump in on that. Again, do your own research. Don't bet your house just because I say it might make sense. It's crazy, by the way, that the stock is up 10% today already. So like probably, I wonder, is there the shortest? So I'm sorry, like that I seem so confused today. So there are no shorter puts. There's November 8th, that's the shortest, which basically, but the price, the premium is just insane. Yeah, I believe that tomorrow the stock will crash. Although the pattern would suggest otherwise, yeah, so it would support the wave C. Anyway, moving on. GameStop unchanged, so from the looks of it, we should get a little bit further down, although might be that we don't have wave A finished here, so might be that we're looking at this. So short term, but long term, I think we'll go above 30. We have to wait because we also have the possibility on the chart that we still go down to 1513. In the area of 1530, if this was not the end of the corrective wave. We'll only know if we break, for example, the low here, or on the other side, if we break, or when we break 25, 24, we can be relatively sure that we're now on the next, or in the next impulsive wave up. I know that's a big range to be uncertain of, but sometimes the patterns are just not that clear. Moving on, grab unchanged, so actually going up a little bit, so it looks visually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so wouldn't be surprised if we still get a little bit more retracement here short term. Long term, I think that we will go further up, potentially even till here in the next couple of months and years. Immersion is tracing down again a little bit. It's just a pain in the ass to label at this point, to be honest. Like personally, I would assume that by now we have reached the end of this corrective pattern. But if we break to the bottom, it's not a bad entry right now because you could literally set your stop loss at 8.17, so which is like 17 cents risk per share. Whereas the upside would be more or maybe close to 100% over the next couple of months if I'm right. So the risk reward ratio is quite good at this point. We already have exposure, so I'm not going to bother to do that. Intel, like I mentioned yesterday, we're going to stay out of it because our predictions came true. So we now need to wait a little bit to get a clearer pattern. Costs, yeah, same thing. We are waiting for basically same like immersion. So either the correction is finished here, one could enter with a stop loss at 652. And if the correction is finished, we will eventually go higher here. So a couple 100% upside, or it's not finished, we get another push further down. But the risk reward ratio here is quite good, to be honest. Yeah. So, and we already have around 100 shares exposure for $1,000. So we're going to keep that the way it is. And NEO, so jury is still out to see if this is actually the bottom of the correction and this is basically the next wave 1, 2, or if this is somehow a corrective wave along the way down. We got out here, so we called that one quite nicely, but now we have to wait again to see how the picture develops to get the next pattern and prediction. Novavax, my daily friend, seems to turn out bad for me, but in quotes as expected. I was originally partially wrong. I assumed the correction is done here and we entered here, buying call option that expire here. And it turned out that the correction wasn't done. And right now we're still missing a push further down theoretically. I wouldn't surprise if we reach the 61.8 retracement at this point, especially because visually this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the wave 5 push is still missing. And that would now mark basically wave 1, 2, 3 downwards in progress. Then we get wave 4 and wave 5. So I would say between 740 and 808 would mark a good entry. After that, the correction should be finished, unless I'm wrong again, twice on the stock. And we should go up. Now, for my options, that might not be soon enough because they expire in January. But at the end, I only have $250 risk in this position, so it's also neglectable. Obviously, hates or sucks to be wrong, but happens from time to time. Nobody's always right. NVIDIA, here we have our profit targets in the area of 150 to 162, unchanged. Visually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're getting wave 5, so we should already get to around 140, so another $2 per share up. Which will then mark wave 1, wave 2, then we get wave 3, 4, and 5. That's my opinion here. And 5 will end anywhere between 150 and 162. SMCI, as said, potentially we have here our wave 1, 2. Where do you come from? Wave 1, 2, 3. Although I think wave 3 might get a little bit of a push through here one more time. Then we get a wave 4 that recovers a little bit, and depending on how much we see a different wave 5 target, and that will only be the first part of the correction. I believe that during this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we will reach the 38.2 retracement. Then we get our wave B, so A, B, and then we get our wave C that will basically drive the company down to around $6 per share. Personally, I probably will wait for this to finish because there's already a lot missed opportunity here. And once we get to C, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, C, that would be the point to get put options for the wave C move. But yeah, I will wait for that. Right now, it's a stupid time to enter because, again, it's possible that this movement finished and we'll get a corrective wave up. So shorting right now makes no sense, but it's also possible that its move hasn't finished and we still get a drop further down. And then only then we go up, yeah. Hi, Rai. Yes, no predictions for anything today, pretty much. We stick with the existing predictions today, and because I'll have to leave very soon, and I just want to get through things quickly. And yeah, so probably no changes at all today. Yeah. Moving on, so SMCI, yeah, further down, long-term, but short-term, short recovery. So basically a corrective wave possible and soon to be expected. Actually a small wave 4 is set that corrects this move to the upside, but then once this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we would get the big wave B correction upside. Yeah, so that's that. Moving on, SPY. I think we didn't have a prediction for SPY. No, we have one, 566.47. Didn't reach that yet, so we actually thought we will go here. I think that's still possible, so I think we still or we have a truncated fifth wave here, but it doesn't check out, unless the other option would be that we actually are going lower, so that this is going to be something like this, and then we go lower. But we stick with our existing prediction. 566.47 is what I expect. Might not happen today. If we go higher than 575.55, then we would have to adjust that prediction. That's not going to happen today. And with that, we look at the NASDAQ, where we look NASDAQ. We have a prediction 19,730.61. to 19,211. So basically what we're expecting is visually, oh, there we have multiple. So we have the option that this is 1, 2, 3, 4 finished and we go down. And the other option is that this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4 not finished, in which case we would first go up to 20,181 to 20,357. And then after that, we get our push down and would have to adjust the profit targets. But I think, again, that midterm, we are looking at a downward move here still to finish a 5-wave move, which means we're actually looking at a bigger correction, because after the 5 waves, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get A, B, C, and then we get at least another 5-wave move down. So overall, I think there is still more downside to come. Sadly, yeah, like, I mean, that could just be because certain companies like NVIDIA and so on are overvalued. On the other hand, it could also be because they're I don't know, market priced in Kamala Harris will win and suddenly Donald Trump wins. But honestly, if there is like more than 50% of the US population, I mean, I know that they don't have like popular, like that they use the electoral college, so it doesn't have to be more than 50% that vote for him, just the right majority in the right states. Yeah. But if pretty much half the population of the US votes for Donald Trump, I would be shocked, because that would just mean that more than half or around half the population or voting age population in the US are complete morons. Yeah, like complete morons that vote against their own interest. Yeah. But yeah, that's just my opinion here. Now the DGT, can I just, how do I switch that, force that to, how can I abort that loading? Like seriously, not new section, new chart tab. Okay, there we have a daily. So again, so the issue here is that we can have basically, we already retraced in DJT, so we have to stick on the daily chart here. The 8-hour chart is not loading. We already retraced 38.2%, and visually this could easily be, again, we cannot look at the lower time frames right now, unfortunately. This could easily be, for example, A, B, and C, and we see that it's an almost perfect move in terms of wave relationship in this case, which would in that case mean that from here we are expecting upward movement. Yeah, and quite substantial. I mean, we would talk about like basically adding 50% in value to the stock. On the other hand, this could also just be wave A, then we would get wave B, and then we would get wave C down. However, after that, we would still expect upward movement, which also on the other hand means that it would be theoretically safe to sell $20 puts, yeah, but that would mean $2,000. So what's the value? So like, what would be the net risk here? So if we for the DJT stock say, okay, close the strategy builder, and we sell $20 puts, what's the premium there? Okay, you get $100, so you still would have to, theoretically, if the company goes bust, yeah, you still have basically $1,934 risk per 100 shares. So that's not juicy enough. On the other hand, if you take here, so if you sell the $35 put, you get $700. So your break even at around $28 per share, and below 28, you suddenly make a loss. So while tempting, the pattern is unfortunately not clear enough here, especially since for whatever reason we are unable to look on the lower time frame. Yeah, and I think with that we actually will sum it up for today. Not sure if we missed something. So, and for our stocks, what's happening? GameStop is slightly going up. So yeah, we will see if basically the correction finished here at the 61.8 retracement, which would be fitting, or if there's still a wave down to come. Or nicely for us would be if we move towards a little higher, but not too close to 30, so that we are closer to, so that on Friday we can still close our call options early for $1 per option, while still for next week collect more premium. And if we move up here and are above the 25, 24, we would next week probably split up the options and not write 5 $30 call options, but also throw some higher prices in, where we get less premium. But if it then happens, we also secure more profit from the shares themselves. Anyway, this is it. I'll have to get ready for our trip to Munich to watch Hans Zimmer. I hope you all have a pleasant rest of the day. If you're in the US, don't forget, go and vote like your life depends on it, because it does. And if it's not your life, then it's your wife's life, your mama's life, your sister's life, your female friend's life, and so on. Especially women rights depend on it. And obviously, if you're a regular Joe that has a regular job, then well, your tax bills depend on it, and so on. So you're literally, if you're voting for Donald J. Trump, you're literally voting against your own wallet and against your own interests. Yeah. Also, if you're married to one of those MAGA morons or so, yeah, and you still love him, whatever, just because he makes a dumb decision and votes against your interest doesn't mean you have. You can always tell him that you voted for Trump and just vote for Kamala Harris instead. It's, yeah, a secret vote. So just vote for your interests and not for other people's interests. Yeah. Anyway, so this is it for today. Yeah, we'll see each other tomorrow again, 5 minutes before market opens, so same time as today. Rai, thanks for stopping by again. Like I said, there is no notes for today because there are no predictions. Akashi, thanks for stopping by, and anyone else that stopped by or lurked, also thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. See you all tomorrow. Till then.